Good morning. This is Katrina Madewell, and I am back this week. I missed you guys last week. How was it? Did you have fun in here in the studio without me?
Oh, we had like a world-renowned host who's been doing radio longer than the combined age of Adam and I put together.
Oh, was that the final conclusion that we came up with?
Yeah, I mean, he was just phenomenal. He had actually, I love the trivia game we played where we were just trying to get people to guess who he was, and we kept revealing hints. So it was Name That Host.
I think they actually took a long time to figure out that it was Charlie. I was surprised.
We could have given a couple of more better hints at the beginning. We were given the obscure hints, but like any good game show, you got to lead your audience to the conclusion. And very happy about that.
Well, nonetheless, it was my idea. I thought it was fun.
It was a blast.
You know, with Charlie being around for a while, I thought people would really enjoy trying to recognize the voice and see if they knew who it was.
He's the creator of radio in the greater Tampa region, so I was honored to sit next to him.
And you guys missed all the fun after that.
What did we miss?
With Adam and me at our favorite watering hole for several,
Villardas?
the wee hours of the morning.
So Adam hung out with you till the wee hours of Villardas?
Oh, yes.
Oh, boy.
You don't pronounce the L in Villardas.
Villardas? Got it. Okay. All right.
Oh, these are so warm. I just want to cuddle with these. I just got handed fresh market statistics. And instead
you handed him Florida Realtors, though, Mimi. You should pull the actual ones from MLS. So.
These are quarter two. These aren't going to be
Hold
helpful.
on. I know it's what I just said. Before you even looked at it, I knew what it was. All right. So let's get into our market stats here in Tampa. Let's chat about this so we can see how we stack up to next week. And then we're going to tell you guys about a few of our new listings that we have coming on the market because they're going to be held open this Saturday.
Well, I heard before the show started that you have so many open houses you don't have enough agents to cover them all.
Yeah, that would be right. But
how did that happen?
It goes in waves, you know.
Obviously.
Yeah. When a lot of stuff, things normally go live around Wednesday, Thursday. And so one of them went live yesterday and my phone was blowing up.
And then you had to get a new phone that you don't know how to use.
Well, yeah, that's another whole story.
Well, it's a good thing we have 2 hours of radio. You can tell a long story.
Yeah. So anyway, my phone, literally, I was on the phone with a customer, and it died. Completely died.
The customer died?
No, my phone.
Oh.
So I had my laptop. I called her back from my laptop, and I was like, what is wrong with this phone? I probably troubleshot it myself for 45 minutes, another 45 minutes with my daughter that works for Verizon, and went back and forth, went into the store the next day, did the same thing. They couldn't even factory reset my phone at T-Mobile.
You couldn't dial like the star 226 star 118.
Nope, it kept crashing. They said that the motherboard was corrupt. That's what they told me.
Oh, corrupt motherboard.
Anyway, yeah, so I switched to operating systems because these goons out here are always nagging me about go with the iPhone. And I do have Mac, so I thought my thinking is, well, if I had a Mac, I could at least see my messages on my laptop and it wouldn't be so urgent to get my phone. Mm-hmm. But I just don't like the operating system.
No, you just got to get used to it.
I'm already used to it, but I believe it or not, Leo, you're going to laugh about this. But I haven't said anything yet.
Oh.
I have a list.
No?
Really?
No, sorry.
I have a list of pros and cons, like literally stuff that I like about it and the stuff that I don't like about it. And at the end of a week, I'm going to
just see which
revamp
is bigger.
That. Yeah, well, and see if even if one column's bigger than the other, can I live with it or do I want to?
Wow. I mean, for me, I just get the largest phone I can on the market. So that's kind of what I do.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I did a lot of research and reading on it after, changing. And I had an iPhone one time before for about a week. And I took it back. Same thing. But basically, when I was looking at this, here's the thing with Android phones as opposed to iPhone is there are so many versions of them. There's so many different makers. There's so many different ones that they make so that basically for them to keep up, right, with everything that it's going to require to fit on that size screen or whatever they have going on. It's a lot harder for the Android market to keep up because at this point it's a lot more innovative. So technically
But the iPhones are more innovative than the Androids?
No, the Androids are more innovative than the iPhones. Now iPhones, they're very particular about what gets to the App Store. They're very protective.
We call that cult-like.
Yeah, but safety and security is at the top of their forefront. So they're saying that it's
planned obsolescence and making you buy their product every year is at the top of their forefront.
Yeah, that's not. I'm not that way, but I can see where they would easily program something on the phone to. I think they all do it though, really.
No, I think they were the first company that actually made the battery so you couldn't get to it. So when your battery died, you needed a new phone.
That I didn't like. That was one of the reasons why I didn't get it, among many others, including the fact that our E-Key, Leo. Now they work on iPhones, but they didn't originally.
Oh, yeah.
So, we also couldn't operate our MLS on a Mac for many years. We could only open it on Internet Explorer. And so I actually beta tested the first version for Mac.
When's the, speaking of the MLS, when's the KLS coming out, the Keller Williams version?
Yeah, I don't, that was a whole debate. I made a comment about something online and,
I didn't know it was a hot political debate topic.
It's among the realtor world it is because, just with NAR and some things that they do and the required dues, which is another whole topic for another day I don't think I want to get into right now.
Oh, aren't your NAR dues due, now?
They were probably already paid, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get into our numbers because I looked at them and went over them briefly last month, but we got them together side by side.
Well, I was stalling while she pulls up my Orlando numbers because I heard, and I had something interesting, that Orlando's market, I've heard rumors that it was depressed, and I heard rumors that the Orlando market was suffering, largely to do with all the furloughs. I mean, you got a complete collapse of the tourism industry in Orlando.
Well, she actually should pull not only Orlando, but Kissimmee as well. So I'll have her pull those two cities like we do for this.
I'd love to see that. I'd love to talk about, I think in addition to talking about the Tampa market each week, we should just pick one other random close market and compare.
Like? Which market?
Sarasota.
Okay. Sarasota, I think, is still on fire. That's predominantly been a retiree city.
But yeah, I think comparing with the Orlando, just some comparisons to broaden it, because every week we say the same thing about the Tampa market. I at this point, I don't understand, with as many homes that are sold and as pending, how we have any inventory whatsoever. I mean, it shocked me when you said you didn't have enough agents for your open house, because how could you have so many listings?
Well, this is a 7-day snapshot, remember? So, in the last 7 days, we've had 1,139 come in the market. It's even lower than last week at 1,212.
If I follow the overall statistics, if we're selling more than we're gaining on the market, and we have more going on pending, a lot more than we have coming on the market, how is there any inventory left? I see columns of 17 going back all the way to early May, and I see columns of 1,000 going onto the market. We're moving 700 more homes a week than we are gaining homes. So
I mean, it's a slow thing that happens, but basically you're going to start to see, the absorption rate just go down and down and down. I mean, I already talked about the fact that it's right about 1 month supply of homes.
Which is crazy because pre-COVID we were at 2.2.
Which was already very low. I mean, to think we'd get here, it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, so the number of solds is actually down a smidge, not much, but 1187 compared to last week of 1215.
Yeah, I mean, it's just these numbers are just on fire, and I'm just curious.
And then pendings are still up.
Yeah, I'm just curious what the rest of the Florida market's doing in different pockets of Florida, and I think that would be interesting for our viewers because right now we've been saying the same thing for months. Tampa's the hottest market around, which was kind of weird because this time last year, if you think about it, we were actually talking about there's some kind of not a bubble, but there's some kind of real estate recession coming. We were talking about that. Then COVID hit, and it's the exact opposite's happening here in Tampa.
Well, you say real estate recession. I say real estate cyclical dip.
Or correction.
Okay, fair enough. That's a good middle of the road word, I would say.
But we were saying that there was going to be a dip in the real estate market, and there just hasn't been.
No, not yet. No, because all these people got on lockdown from New York and moved here.
Yeah.
And not just New York. In Michigan.
I'll be really curious.
Maryland.
I know we don't talk politics at all. The one thing about politics I like to discuss and follow is the electoral college system. When we have the new census, it's very important to register for your census because that's how they're going to redistribute these electoral college votes.
Good point.
And that has nothing to do with politics. That's just saying fill out your census.
Right. You know,
I feel like I hit a sensitive subject about the census.
You didn't. I was just thinking about a video that I was exposed to Monday, and I thought about playing it on the air, and I actually think I'm going to. I'm going to get it to Pat.
813-377-2775. That's 813-377-2775.
And it's not political at all. I think it'll be the 9 o'clock hour. All right, stick around. We'll be back.
Good morning. Welcome back. This is Leo Kane with Beryl Engineering and Inspection. I am the sole host right now of Tampa Home Talk. You're listening at the 8 o'clock hour. We have a very special guest on the line. I'd like to introduce Miles Suber from Suber Financial Group. How you doing, Miles?
I'm doing great today. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So I take it with the Suber Financial Group and your name being Mr. Suber. Am I pronouncing that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I take it this is your company?
This is I'm the managing partner. I have 2 other partners. They're in New York, but I'm the managing partner.
Awesome. Are they also Subers?
No, they're not Suber.
Wow.
So there was a little bit of vanity there, but we had some continuity because the firm is a spinoff from the Suber Group, which was incorporated in 1999. So we wanted to have some continuity in the name, and people already knew what the name was and the reputation.
That's awesome. So you formed your own financial group with 2 people, but since it's your name, I'm going to call it your financial group. That's phenomenal. So how do you go about forming your own financial group?
Well, a little bit about my background. I'm one of those people from New York. And I heard the last segment.
Good morning, Miles. Thank you for listening, and we welcome our New Yorkers.
Yes, and what you know how everyone has a summer job when you're a teenager and everything. Well, my summer job was on Wall Street. I worked for a firm called Loeb Rhodes, which was Sandy Weill's firm, and Sandy Weil merged with Shearson American Express, and he is the founder of Citigroup. So I started on Wall Street in 1976, working in the back office, counting physical stock, something they don't do anymore. So as the years went by, I went to the Navy, went to Columbia, and I was going to be a history professor. I was going to be the best history professor in the world. And I was doing my summer job down on Wall Street, and it was pouring, raining, and I saw this guy running to a limousine. And he had another guy with an umbrella over him, right? And I said, if I'm the best history professor in the world, will I be able to run to a limousine and have somebody carry an umbrella over my head? And the answer was no, and I said, I'm staying on the street. So my whole career has been in the financial district. And, you know, you work for big firms, you learn at boutique firms. So we did everything from hostile takeovers.
I like that.
We did everything from hostile takeovers to mergers and acquisitions to you name it. We did proxy fights, and in those little boutique firms, you know, you learn the nuts and bolts and the pressure points and you know, institutional versus mom and pops and the whole 9 yards. So I'm a 40-year financial professional. I was on Wall Street when Ronald Reagan was president. We had the SNL scandal. When we had a penny stock scandal with Boesky and Milken. I was on there when Father Bush was there and they had the SNL scandal. I was there when Bill Clinton was there and we had the .com bubble. And I was there when Baby Bush was there when we had the housing bubble. So this is what I do. So how do you get to be start a financial? By being on the street.
So Miles got a pretty interesting background, and he actually has a pretty laser-focused niche, if you will.
Oh, the student loan piece.
Yes.
So in a way, he never left his dream of becoming a professor.
Well, let's talk about it. You know, the current student loan debt. That it's a big thing that I think is coming.
No, it's not coming. It's here,
yeah, it's been
and
here for a while.
we're actually it's been here for a while, and we are actually. There's no reason to talk about it's coming. It's reason to talk about solutions to it.
Yeah, when I say coming, I'm thinking more along the lines, Miles, of possible implosion of not paying that debt, that sort of thing.
It's just there's a certain aspect to it when you think about student loan debt. Is you have some noble professions, we'll call them teachers, scientists, zookeepers, people in the agriculture industry. You get
geologists in Florida.
Geologists. You get degrees. You get very expensive degrees, $100,000 in student loan debt, and you're looking at minimum wage paying jobs when you graduate with that degree. It's like there's a huge disconnect between the amount of money it takes to get a degree to further humanity and the pay you get for using that degree.
But it's true, but I would say you also need to have some field experience, right? Just because you come out with a degree doesn't mean you can start at the top.
Yeah, but I mean, even with and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Miles, but even with that field experience with one of these type of degrees where you have this massive crushing debt, you're never going to make a salary to pay it off.
Okay, so I want you to know you guys hit on the genesis of why we got into the business that we got into. Originally, this idea was germinated because we had friends who I went to school with in New York who were educators. So therefore, they went to Ivy League schools, and they got PhDs and masters and everything, and now they're sitting on $200,000 worth of debt, and they're making $60,000, $70,000. Now, that might sound like a little bit in Florida, but that's nothing in New York. I mean, so therefore, they have all these degrees, all this student loans, and what we realize is this. Now, it sounds counterintuitive, but the least amount of money you make, the bigger bang you get. Because President Obama, the last Obama administration, changed the paradigm for student debt. And this is one of the underpublicized facts. If in the old days you borrowed $1,000, you gave back $1,000 plus the interest. And there were no variables. Now, whatever you borrow, you don't pay back based on what you borrow. You pay back based on what you can afford, income-based repayment. So therefore, what we do is we immediately do an analysis to get them into an income-based repayment. So we just had a client, and this is like last week, who was paying $900 per month. We just got her payments reduced to $150 per month because of her income based on what she does, not based on how much she borrowed. And then, here's the caveat, we then look to put them in a loan forgiveness program because the federal government has several different loan forgiveness programs out there that are a bunch of crap except for one. The one that is 5 stars is the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. You have to be a city, state, or federal worker or work for a 501c3. That's the covenant for that program. If you are any of those, you go into that program, you do 120 payments, which is 10 years, and your loan is forgiven. So therefore, if you're sitting on $200,000 worth of debt, we can almost, and you don't make a lot of money, we can almost get the government to pay $100,000 to $200,000 in forgiveness. So that's why I say it's counterintuitive. In a lot of cases, people are ashamed of how much debt they got and how much little money they make. But in actuality, it works in their favor.
How do you actually get those student loans forgiven?
Well, here's the process of getting student loans forgiven. Once we do the student loan analysis and we put you into a repayment plan that works with your budget, we put you into the public service loan forgiveness. Once again, you have to be a city, state, or federal worker, or volunteer for a 501c3. And what happened was we were going through a couple of years of the evolution of our firm, and we realized there was a gigantic slice of people who we couldn't put into the loan forgiveness program because they didn't qualify because they weren't government workers and they didn't work for a 501c3. So what we did was we partnered with a 501c3. And people can now volunteer at that 501c3, and now they qualify for loan forgiveness.
So how does that work with them volunteering For the nonprofit,
They
how is there rules around how much, how long?
Yes, the rules are they have to volunteer 30 hours a week.
I mean, it sounds like a dang good trade-off for the amount of some of these
Do they get
student loans.
paid for the quote-unquote volunteering in a nonprofit for 30 hours a week, or is this 30 in addition to the 40 they're already putting in?
No, 30. If you volunteer 30 hours per week, that's what the requirements are. And there's no such thing as, you have to send them time slots or nothing like that. No, if they're volunteering, the director or whoever it is, the administration can say, yes, this person does volunteer 30 hours a week at this not-for-profit, and the paperwork goes in, and then they're into the public service loan forgiveness.
Now, do you have people, I guess we'll hold this question for after the break, but I'm sure people have to say, like, is this student loan forgiveness stuff actually real? Like, what's the catch? I'm sure you get that a lot. And then want to also talk about one of the other questions that you get is, why is the interest growing so fast on the student loan debt?
Well, if you're interested in learning more about forgiveness, text the word forgiveness to 813-377-2775.
813-377. And one more time, then call or text.
The word forgiveness. We'll be right back after the break. Well, good morning. Welcome back. This is Leo Kane with Beryl Engineering and Inspection. So we'll talk about this during the top of 9 o'clock.
We're back
hour.
with Miles Suber.
Yeah, Miles Super from the Super Financial
And
Group.
his specialty is all about student loan forgiveness. And so if you missed the first segment or the second segment that we just came from, you'll want to stick around to get some more information. And you can call or text and we'll get you connected to Miles. It's 813-377-2775.
I just love the fact that you can have student. I mean, because so many things you're hearing about forgiveness. Businesses are getting forgiveness with the payment protection. Individuals are getting stipends back. So you hear that student loan, which is crippling debt, you can't get rid of it. Follows you to your grave. It seems like I'm painting a bleak picture, but it's true.
We were having I haven't had student loan debt in years because I paid mine off so long ago. But, just thinking about what were we saying on the break, Miles? It was like, okay, wait, we got to hold this for the air. We get that off-air chatter going, and it's like, oh, man, hold it, wait. So what were you saying originally about these student loan forgiveness programs? Because I guess, the question is it real, right? Like, people have a lot of questions on, how legit is this?
Right. So here's this is really interesting. The student loan public service loan forgiveness program is absolutely real. It was signed into law by George W. Bush. So what it was designed to reward public servants, simply because public servants generally are paid less than the private sector. So therefore, this was an added incentive to reward public servants. So what happens is this: the reason why people don't know about public service loan forgiveness, there is $1.5 trillion worth of debt out there. Do you think the government is going to advertise that there's loan forgiveness and take a 1.5 haircut on student debt?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a secret.
There you go. It's not in their interest for you to know that their loans can be forgiven, and they're going to take a haircut. Now, I don't care about anybody's political opinion, right? But the new Biden, because I focus on student debt, so if it has to do with student debt, I talk.
You're
about
watching it, yeah.
The new Biden loan forgiveness right? He's talking about student debt loan forgiveness. He's saying, we're going to take off $10,000 off of your student loan. Well, you know what? If I got $100,000, $10,000 don't move my needle.
Yeah, it's a drop in the bucket. So what's the deal with the interest, like just climbing so fast on the student loan debt?
Okay, so I'm going to get a little granular because now we're going to talk a little bit about how the game really works. The inside, and I want you to know something. The student loan industry hates me simply because I'm a financial professional. I'm just like them. I know what goes on, the last thing they want is someone who knows what goes on talking to the clients, because they're used to telling the clients what to do and having cheap, and they want you isolated. So this is how the game goes. Let's say you have 3 loans, and they're all $100. So loan 1, 2, and 3 are all $100, and you're making $5 payments on. You're making $5 payments. We're using the law of small numbers. So you're making $5 payments. $5 is applied to loan 1. So loan 1 is going down. Loan 2 is gaining interest. Loan 3 is gaining interest. So as you're paying, you finally get loan 1 down to $15, right? You make your next payment. Guess what they do? They don't apply it to loan 1. They apply it to loan 2. Mm-hmm. So therefore, loan 2
I always wondered why
interest. And so now loan 1 gets a chance to get healthy. Loan 3 has been blowing up. And what we do. Now, let me tell you, once again,
so Miles, I got a question. Yeah. So in this, what you're saying, like in your $100 example and you're paying $5, is it fair to say that loan 3 is accruing more than $5 in interest? Is that fair?
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
Yes, that's very fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking to somebody that's a little bit jaded by this, right? Because I haven't had student loans in 20 years. So, you know, I'm not ignoring it. I'm saying I know it exists. I'm just saying that I personally have not had student loan. But I'll tell you, when we see credit reports, Miles, I always wondered why I would see so many different loans all over the credit report for student loans. I thought, gosh, it's just so littered up. Like, why wouldn't they just give them one loan? But that answers that.
Well, you just answered the question. What we do is we don't allow 3 different loans. We'll consolidate the loans. So all of those loans will appear on their credit as paid off, and a new debt instrument is established. Now, here's the interesting thing. I come from the old mortgage broker industry. So we all knew about DTI and all that other stuff. When you have student debt, it affects your DTI. When we come in, lower your student debt, guess what happens to your DTI? It gets lowered.
It's going to go down. Yeah, I mean, I come from that same world. We see it all the time, still today.
So what happens is a lot of times.
So Miles,
I want to talk to realtors and brokers.
Let me ask you a question. I know that if I'm not mistaken, I'd have to ask Sarah to verify, but if someone has, say, $50,000 in student loan debt, I believe they're counting 1% of the payment against them for their debt to income ratios, even though they're not actually in repayment yet. I'm pretty sure it's that amount. So if you're consolidating them, is that required payment actually lower?
Well, what we do is this. Remember, we are consultants, and we work with the housing industry. And since I have a background in the housing industry, what we do is we consolidate the client, or we look at the client and we look at what their needs are. If you are trying to get into a home, right, and we know that, you know, you can't put 0 down as a repayment because they don't accept that. So what we do is we try to find and tailor the repayment program that would allow them to get into the home.
Oh, wow. That's exciting.
Once they get into the home, then we can restructure the payment to fit them. So once again, we are consultants, and we deal with different strategies based on the needs of our clients.
I love that. It makes so much sense to me. I understand that. So on average, like, let's say someone has $50,000 in student loan debt. How long does it take them usually to pay that off before they meet somebody like you?
Okay, so if my client wants to pay off the student debt, they're talking to the wrong firm and they're talking to the wrong person. We don't want them to pay their student debt off. What we want to do is get them into the lowest payment possible and put them into loan forgiveness.
Yeah, but I get that. Yeah, I totally get that value. But my question was just more from a curious perspective on if someone has $50,000 in student loan debt, how long do you see them taking to pay that off? Do you know?
Well, if you have 50, and I want you to know something, 50 is a very low loan value.
Okay.
But if you have $50,000, you have to also bring in how much income do you make. So therefore, if you make $100,000 and you have $50,000 worth, it's not going to take you much at all. Simply because you have the disposable income that you can double your payments, you can, go into accelerated payment plans. There's a different variety of things you can do.
So this is crazy. Like, you can go to school, be a doctor, have $200,000 in student loan debt, and then go work for the city or county or federal government, including the military, and not have to pay that back. Is that right?
That is correct, and I have clients like that.
How long do you have to work for those companies?
You have to make 120 qualified payments. So therefore, but here's
10 years.
The great thing. Yes, 10 years. Here's the great thing. You can go from the city to a non-for-profit. Long as you are still in working in the not-for-profit world or the government world, you can move around.
Or you can still work and volunteer 30 hours, right?
There you go. Now you understand. Or you can go to the private sector and volunteer. And once again, we come up with these strategies. And when we get a client, we say, okay, what's your goal? What do you want to do? This is how we see about making this thing work. If you work in the private sector, here's a non-for-profit that you can volunteer at, and what the non-for-profit gets is they get the energy and the intellectual prowess, and what the person gets is they get their loan forgiven.
All right, so I got a question. I want to know if I can teach my old dog new tricks. I want to see if I can pimp my husband out, which already works for a city municipality, and get him in school and get that student loan paid off. I can do that?
Yes.
And so is it retro at all, or just from the time you apply?
Well, here's the interesting thing. If you were in an income-based repayment program before you went into the public service loan forgiveness, and let's say you were in there because I had a client yesterday. Let's say you were in it for 5 years, an income-based repayment, right? And now we put you into a loan forgiveness. All of those previous payments that you did in income-based count towards your loan forgiveness.
Okay, so what about the balance that's left?
The government picks it up.
Wow. All right, but it's not retro, right? So if he doesn't have any student loans left, so let's say if he were to go back to college, it's covered right away?
If he doesn't have any student debt, and it's only what he accrues now.
Right.
If he has a blank slate, you're not going to get forgiven for something that's not there. It's not on the books.
No, but I'm saying, what if he decides, hey, this is out there. I'm going to go ahead and go to college, and I want to have the student loan debt wiped out while I get my master's. He can do that if he's working for a municipality?
Yes, the answer is yes.
Wow. Incredible. I'm like, your wife, my husband is watching, and he thought that old dog comment wasn't so funny. I thought it was really funny. Anyway, so I know some of the common things you guys get were about the student loans, and do they go away after 7 years? Do they ever get written off? And I don't think they do they? Don't they follow you forever?
There's a statute of limitations.
Is there on student loan debt?
There's a statute of limitations. If you go a certain amount of time without paying, the debt is no longer enforceable.
I didn't think it applied on government anyway.
25 years. 25 years.
That's a long time. Okay.
I mean, so it's 25 years. But here's the thing. Student loan, I worked in so many different areas in the financial services industry. This is the most predatory product I've ever seen in my life. Because
Wow.
They're taking people who are barely adults, and they are sticking debt on them immediately.
Now, Miles, really quick, because we're out of time.
Okay.
But your product is super affordable. I know we're running out of time to talk about it, so I want to give out the number so we can get you connected. It's 813-377-2775. Just call or text student loan debt or forgiveness, if you prefer, to 813-377-2775, and we'll get you connected with Miles. Thanks so much. We'll be back.
morning. Welcome back. Leo Kane here. Beryl Engineering and Inspection. We've got an exciting group of, Facebook Live just died, but we have an exciting group of open houses to talk about.
We do. We are stocked with some new listings, and we're going to chat about that real quick before we get to Adam. So let's roll through these, and I'll tell you something amazing about all of them, and pretty much all of them are going to be held open this weekend.
So Saturday, 11 to 3 in Wesley Chapel, we have 2998 Hillard Drive. We've got a beautiful 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms. We've got, wow, I'm just like, wow.
Which one are you looking at?
I'm looking at Hillard Drive, yeah.
Now, this property is only a year old.
I know, that's why I'm saying wow.
I've sold more than one property for that client, and I tell you, every time, his house is always in pristine condition.
I just love the pendant lighting. That's what I love about this
house.
He's
done,
seals, everything's sealed.
He's done, $20,000 in upgrades since he bought it new, so yeah, it's a deal.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting an upgraded home because you're not getting a builder box. You're getting an upgraded home. Beautiful pendant lighting, beautiful sealed pavers. This is a house you want to check out. 2998 Hilliard Drive, Wesley Chapel.
11 to 3.
See you on Saturday. Also, see you on Saturday, more in my neighborhood.
Which, by the way, I'm going to give you the number. Don't feel like you have to write this down. We'll text it to you.
Yeah, we have 704 East Norfolk Street.
Brand new listing. Like, that just hit, I think, this morning, right? Or yesterday?
Hit yesterday. This is 33604. So we are in the Seminole Heights, Tampa Heights area. It's a starter home because it's a 3-1.
That is right in the heart of Tampa, that Seminole Heights area. That house is gonna go
fly.
quick.
It's got a good listing price. It's reasonably priced at $275. A 3-1 in Tampa Heights, bungalow style. I like what they've done at the front. I like that little entryway. They've moved it around to make it.
Yes, it came that way, and that's actually such a cute little place. And I'll tell you something unique about this property, and it's really affordable for the price, $275. For one, the yard is huge.
It does. It looks
and
huge.
It's got a side entry. It's got this little drive in the front, but also in the back, which you can't see from the photos. There's another little driveway with a 2-car garage. And it's got a courtyard all in the middle that's screened. There's still plenty of yard.
What I also like about this is it was remodeled in 2016. So we got some cosmetic upgrades done recently, but I mean the guts were upgraded in 2016.
Yeah, and everything's in really good shape on that one. It's had fresh paint and everything, and that one will be open from 11 to 3.
Also from 11 to 3. We have one more. Now let's just say you're not in Wesley Chapel, you're not in Tampa, but you're a little bit east of the I-75 corridor, and you're looking for something in the Valrico area. We have something for you. We got 3409 Bloomingdale Oaks Drive.
This one, my phone has been blowing up on.
I know, your phone literally just died. It was blowing up so much.
Almost a quarter of an acre.
This is a 2.5. This is a huge quarter acre. It's in the heart of Bloomingdale. Yeah, I mean...
This one is going to go quick. I think we might even have offers on that. I don't even know. I got in late, but I know we're holding it open Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3. And
I look at things like when important things like the roof, when the water heater, when the ACs are replaced. I mean, AC in 2015, roof in 2018. That's what you want on a home that's from 1986. 1986, you're about 30, 34 years old. You're looking for these upgrades. You're looking for the HVAC upgrade. You're looking for the roof upgrade.
Yeah, this one's also another one in very pristine condition. Just beautiful flooring, everything throughout. I've got another one in Indian Rocks Beach, too. Let's talk about that one.
I don't think that one is a...
We have it, for sure. That one's brand new. Now, the time is to be announced on this one, but...
Oh, there it is.
We go.
We have one more open house to talk
new.
about. Let's say you're west.
That's got a water view. I love it.
West of the Howard Franklin, you're Indian Rocks Beach. We've got a water view. We've got a 2-2 in Krulur Landing South. This is 528 Garland Circle, number 528.
So Indian Rocks Beach.
This makes it a condo, right?
Yes. Well, that'll be right here in your legal description. No, actually, it's not.
No, beach lovers.
Oh, it is. It is, right. Yep. But it's got 2 balconies. It overlooks the water.
And 2-bedroom condos aren't easy to come by.
And it's a beautiful community. Like when you pull up, it's very inviting.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to think about it. Like a lot of condos are going to be 1-1s, maybe 1.5s. To get a 2-2 that's a condo is pretty nice. So
that doesn't even feel like a 2-bedroom. It's really spread out, and it has actually another room on the bottom that's technically not counted because it was enclosed. A lot of people do that; they enclose it in those lower areas, and they're not supposed to. So it's not counted. It's not insurable, but it's there, so you can use that space.
Speaking of insurability, do we have Adam Talley on the line?
We do.
Adam.
I'm still here. Yes,
Awesome.
good to talk to you guys. It sounds like you got a lot of stuff going on.
We got
Katrina.
4 open houses. Text the word open house to 813-377-2775. We'll get you more information about Indian Rocks Beach, Valrico, Wesley Chapel, and Tampa.
And we've got several we didn't even get a chance to
We'll talk
talk to.
about these other non-open house listings later. Adam, take it away.
So, I'm glad we're talking about open houses, and I know we were talking about student loan debt and all this other stuff today, and I don't have an insurance tip of the week because what I want to use my time for is to say that we are hiring. So, if you were one of these people that maybe your job no longer exists, reach out and apply. You can text the call-in number, the 813-877-2775. Or 377. Sorry, I messed that one up.
I was like, wait a minute, Adam.
But I'm not looking at the banner right now, but it's we're hiring, and I'm open to somebody with sales experience, but that has not worked in insurance before.
Now I tell you, we're
problem.
gonna. You better stick around and listen, Adam, because at 9 o'clock, I'll tell you exactly where to find those people. Or maybe Leo will.
We're looking. So if you want to break into a new industry, we're hiring, and for sales and customer service. So reach out. Happy to.
Are you still hiring?
Interview.
Yeah, we're still
Too.
hiring.
Everybody's
Talking
still
to me or Leo?
All 3 of us are still hiring.
It's interesting. It's a lot of people I talk to. They're either having the best year they ever had, or it's been absolutely nothing. So it's. We're definitely thankful for the opportunities we've been given this year, and love to, share that with other people. So,
I think you just find what you're
where we're
looking
at.
for, right? Like if you're looking for your best year ever, you're probably going to get it despite any market.
That's true. That's true. But
so, hey, do you want to comment on this property really quick? Because we see
Sure.
this all the time, right? Like these lower areas that are closed in, whether by the homeowner or the previous owner. So they're closed in, but the lower section's totally a flood zone, so you're not supposed to put anything permanent down there. But people close it all the time, right? And what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. It makes it really difficult to file a flood claim later on. Had a client that they're in the Panhandle. Hurricane came. They had done some downstairs renovations, and they wanted it to be covered. Filed a claim, and the claim got denied because that's not how we insured it originally. So.
Yeah, we're not going to cover anything you didn't do without a permit, right? All right, this is Tampa Home Talk. Thanks for joining us, Adam. Stick around. We'll be back for hour number 2 in just a minute, and we're going to get into those Orlando numbers that Leo was asking about last hour right when we come back, and we'll stack that up against Tampa. Fair enough?
That sounds more than fair. I'm
All
excited.
right, off-air number 813-377-2775. Love where you live, or we'll fix it. We'll be back for hour number 2.